Hey, welcome back everybody. Hope you all had a good Christmas. Mine was pretty good this year. Back here at the hangar, we got a little bit of stuff going on today. Nothing much on the jet. I'll be working on some ground servicing equipment today, namely the MA1A, the start cart, and then over the further down the hangars here, the NC8. She needs a little bit of attention because we need electrical whenever we're servicing, and that cart's down, so I got to get some part numbers for that. But first things first today, we got to go check the tire pressure in those nose gears, so I'm gonna go do that now. All right, so we did lose a little bit of pressure out of the nose tires. So I had 150 on this side and 160 on the opposite side. So we inflated them to 175 last weekend, and one side's down 25 pounds, the other side's down 15 pounds. That was not unexpected, but the air temperature is about the same. So now that the tires have settled in a little bit, once we get another guy here, we'll get the nitrogen cart over here and hit them with some pressure and get them back up and check them again next weekend. That's right at the differential pressure limit as well of 10 psi. They have to be within 10 psi of each other. So if you guys heard that last week and you don't know why that is, both tires need to be at about the same pressure, because if one's low, the aircraft will want to veer to one side or the other. Whichever tire is lower, that's where it'll want to go, like as you're taxiing or on a takeoff roll or a landing rollout. So there's that. All right, so now that I know what that is, it's time to go make a little bit of noise to the start cart. All right, hose is stretched out. Got to turn on the battery like so. Everything else is looking good. I'm gonna give this a crank and see where we're at. So that's about where I thought I remember having it. I had to adjust the 95% switch. That's the one that lights the green light and allows you to put air down the hose to start an airplane. All right, so let me get to some adjustments here. All right, 35, 95 right here. And quarter turn, there we go. All right, let's try this one. The goal is to get the light. We need the light in order for this to work. We got it to start, which it wasn't doing the first time around. We just got to get it to, we just got to let it think that it's actually ready to actually do output air. All right, so let's try this again. All right, let's try this again. Alright, I'm gonna try one more time. And if it doesn't go on this one, then I'm gonna have to really look in to see if this is a bad switch or if I got a wire harness issue, because that should have worked. Alright, last try before we really start digging in deep on this one. You know, in an interesting parallel, that hammer and screwdriver trick that I did on the centrifugal switch there, I had to do on this card a couple years ago because same issue. The load light would never light, even though this would put out output air. This one did the same thing, and despite all my adjustments, it never really clicked in until I gave it a little percussive maintenance on the switch. And ever since then, this has worked super reliably every time that we've started it, other than having a dead battery from time to time. That, once it comes to a complete stop, I'm gonna crank this up one more time and let's see what we get on that light. If it's repeatable, I'm gonna call this one good. I'll pack it back in after she cools down, charge the battery, and we'll move on. Alright, I'm going to take a break from that for a minute. That one's getting to be frustrating. We should not have to knock on that switch in order for it to actually close and activate at the right speed. So, starting to think that either that card's super old. I mean, those things were designed in the 50s and built in that time frame, 50s and 60s. So, I don't know what the age of that one is, but if that's the original switch, might have oxidized contacts. So we're gonna come in here and see what we got with the NC8. It's been a minute since we fired this thing up too. Hey, it's the Huey. Alrighty, what we got here? Old classic 453 Detroit. Let's find the dipstick somewhere down in here. Yep, got you. I'm almost certain oil's in it. Yes. I'm gonna need both hands and a flashlight. I need to put this back. Let me set you guys down for a minute. All right, let's connect the battery. All right. Let's see what we get. Master switch. Hey, we got power. All right, here we go. Like a kitten in a milk pail. I'm satisfied with that. Happy that she runs, but hangar door is closed, and I definitely don't want to gas myself out of this place with the exhaust of this. I will say that nothing smells like the exhaust of a Detroit diesel. It's an interesting aroma. Most 4-stroke diesel engines don't smell like that, but still a pretty cool engine. All right, gotta dig in there and get some part numbers. 24. There you are. All right, so where I'm at with this one, if you guys remember last year, or it was early this year, we had to modify the the overvolt relay for the DC cable with a resistor, which ended up not working for us. However, that is a faulty relay, so we need to change that, which we got one. So with that, that's got to get installed. We just had to divert my attention elsewhere, so this will get installed. New problem is the overvoltage relay, which I believe is this one for the AC, which is the one that we actually plug into the airplane to actually power its systems. The AC is not activating when it should. So we got to change out both the AC overvolt relay as well as, I think it's, there's an adjustment. I'm looking at the back. Yeah, the AC volt, so in line there. So that is the adjustment for it, which you guys see it's got exposed connections. It's just by its design. That is acting up on us, and as much as you adjust it, it can go from 114 volts and it'll spike up to 150, so 150. That's bad. We don't want that because we don't want to spike any of our airplanes with high voltage. That's bad for it. So that's got to get changed, as well as the overvolt protection relay, because whenever this spikes up that high, that should have kicked in as well and shut this thing down. So I got to find the part for that, as well as the overvolt relay on the AC side. Back to the start cart. I made one more adjustment. I'm gonna give it another try. I hope this thing works. I shouldn't need to hit the switch with a hammer in order to make it work. But then again, like I said, that's the original switch, more than likely, so it may need some maintenance anyway. All right. Alright, I'm done messing around with this thing. I'm about to roll up the hose and roll it back in. I'm pretty convinced at this point it's a faulty centrifugal switch. So, before I tear that apart, I did learn that I believe I can pull it apart and clean it, which I think is what it's really going to boil down to, is what it needs. Also looking into seeing if we can just get a new one before I do that, because I don't want to tear up something without knowing that we can replace it with something, with a new one. So let me put the macro lens on this and I'll show you what we got in the book. Alright, so here's the switch assembly itself, and it's actually in two parts. The first part is the part that bolts onto the gearbox, which has a shaft and some flyweights, does some crazy stuff inside there, and the output of that pushes in and out of the housing. If we go to next page, this is the stuff I've been adjusting here. That's the actual adjustments here. And you got one for three set points. One for the starter cutout, 35% speed, the 95% ready to load, which means the cart's ready to go, and the 110% overspeed protection. So if the engine spins itself too fast, this will shut it down before it catastrophically destroys itself by going way too fast. The output of that shaft that goes back and forth this way pushes against this lever arm. Here's the switches, here's the adjustments. So what I'm thinking is something in here, and possibly in these switches, is just old, oxidized, maybe something's just gummed up and sticky. So I want to take this apart, but like I said, I want to make sure I got a good switch, or that we can get a replacement switch before I start tearing into this thing. Alright, so that about wraps up the weekend here. I'm going to get the cart back inside and throw the battery charger back on it. I will have a midweek video out later this week. I'm going to do the end of year update. Just talk about how where the channel's going to go. Talk about DCS. I know it's been a while. I owe you guys an explanation on that, why I haven't done a lot of that in a while. But we'll, yeah, I think you guys will like the outfit that I have picked out for that video too. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a happy new year. Stay safe if you guys are traveling, and we'll catch you in the next one.